Imagine talking to a machine, not typing commands, not pressing buttons, but having a real conversation. It understands your words, answers your questions, writes your stories, and even debates your ideas. Just a few decades ago, this was pure science fiction. But today, we live in an age where artificial intelligence can write poetry, explain physics, design buildings, and chat with you like a friend. That story, the story of how humans built a machine that could talk, begins long before ChatGPT. It's a journey of imagination, mathematics, and human curiosity that stretches across nearly a century. Let's travel back to where it all began. The dream of thinking machines. Before ChatGPT, before computers even had screens, there were dreamers, scientists who wondered if machines could think. In 1950, a British mathematician named Alan Turing wrote a famous paper called Computing Machinery and Intelligence. He asked a question that would echo through history. Can machines think? Turing proposed a test, what we now call the Turing test. If a human spoke to a machine through a computer and couldn't tell it was a machine, then perhaps the machine could be considered intelligent. This idea inspired generations. But in the 1950s, computers were huge, slow, and expensive. They couldn't even store human language, let alone understand it. Still, the dream of talking to a machine was alive. The birth of artificial intelligence. In 1956, at Dartmouth College in the U.S., a group of scientists gathered for a summer workshop. Their goal was ambitious: to explore how to make machines simulate human intelligence. That meeting gave birth to a new field, artificial intelligence. Early pioneers like John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, and Herbert Simon believed computers could eventually reason, learn, and communicate. But their computers could only understand very limited commands. They could solve math problems or play checkers, not hold conversations. Still, the foundation was set. Humanity had declared its intention to build intelligent machines. The first talking machines. In 1966, a computer scientist named Joseph Weissenbaum at MIT created ELIZA, one of the world's first chatbots. ELIZA simulated a psychologist. It didn't truly understand language. It used clever tricks, rephrasing what the user said. For example, user, I feel sad. ELIZA, why do you feel sad? It was simple yet astonishing for the time. Many users felt emotionally connected to ELIZA, even knowing it was just a program. But Weissenbaum was alarmed. He realized how easily people could be fooled by simple linguistic patterns. Still, ELIZA proved that humans wanted to talk to machines. In the decades that followed, other chatbots appeared. Perry in 1972, which simulated a patient with schizophrenia. Jabberwocky in the 1980s, and Alice in the 1990s. Each one got smarter, but none could truly understand human language. The rise of data and neural networks. The next big leap came with neural networks, computer systems inspired by the human brain. At first, they were slow and limited. But by the late 1990s and early 2000s, the internet exploded, and suddenly there was something new: data. Millions of web pages, books, and documents became available. Scientists realized that to teach a machine language, they needed to feed it enormous amounts of text. The more a model read, the more patterns it could recognize: words, grammar, tone, and even meaning. Artificial intelligence had entered a new era.
OpenAI and the birth of modern language models. In 2015, a group of Silicon Valley innovators, including Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, and Ilya Sutskever, founded a company called OpenAI. Their mission was bold: to ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. OpenAI began experimenting with a new type of machine learning model called a transformer, introduced by Google in 2017. Transformers were revolutionary. They could process huge amounts of text and learn relationships between words in context. In 2018, OpenAI released GPT-1, the first generative pre-trained transformer. It was trained on a vast library of books and internet text, and it could generate short, coherent passages of writing. It wasn't perfect, but it was the first step toward a machine that could truly write. The leap to GPT-2. Just 1 year later, OpenAI released GPT-2, and the world took notice. GPT-2 could write entire essays, answer questions, and even compose poetry. It was so advanced that OpenAI initially hesitated to release it publicly, fearing misuse. Its writing wasn't always accurate, but it sounded human. Suddenly, people realized that AI could produce content, not just analyze it. Journalists, students, and tech enthusiasts tested GPT-2, amazed at its fluency. It could generate articles, fictional stories, and conversations almost indistinguishable from human writing. The age of AI-generated text had arrived. The breakthrough: GPT-3 and ChatGPT. Then came GPT-3 in 2020, a model with 175 billion parameters, the neurons of the system. GPT-3 was a massive leap forward. It could answer complex questions, write code, summarize research, and even mimic personalities. But GPT-3 was still mostly a tool for developers. It wasn't conversational yet. That changed in late 2022 when OpenAI released ChatGPT, a fine-tuned version of GPT 3.5 designed for dialogue. ChatGPT wasn't just smart, it was friendly, conversational, and accessible to everyone. Within 5 days, it reached over 1 million users, making it one of the fastest-growing apps in history. People used it for everything: writing essays, drafting business emails, learning languages, creating stories and poems, even emotional support. It became a global phenomenon, the first time ordinary people could talk to an AI that truly understood them. ChatGPT becomes a cultural icon. By 2023, ChatGPT had changed the world. Millions of users relied on it daily. Schools, companies, and creators used it to brainstorm, code, and communicate. It wasn't just a chatbot anymore. It was a writing assistant, teacher, researcher, and creative partner. People debated its impact. Would it replace jobs? Would it reshape education? Could AI ever be truly conscious? Meanwhile, OpenAI introduced tools like ChatGPT Plus, Code Interpreter, and DALL-E image generation, expanding what AI could do, from writing to art to analysis. AI was no longer just part of technology, it was part of daily life. How does ChatGPT actually work? It doesn't think like a human. Instead, it predicts the next word in a sentence, but it's trained on billions of examples, allowing it to understand patterns of meaning, logic, and style. It's like a mirror reflecting everything humanity has ever written, learning from it, imitating it, and sometimes improving it. The GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Generative, it creates text. Pre-trained, it's trained on a massive dataset before being fine-tuned. Transformer, the neural network architecture that allows it to process language efficiently. ChatGPT doesn't have emotions or consciousness, but it can simulate both convincingly. The future, GPT-5 and beyond. As of 2025, AI language models continue to evolve. GPT-5 and future models aim to become more factual, context-aware, and creative. New research explores multimodal AI, systems that understand not just text, but also images, audio, and video. We're entering an era where you might talk to an AI that sees, listens, and collaborates, a true digital assistant. But with this power come challenges: misinformation, ethical use, privacy, and bias. The conversation about AI isn't just about what it can do, but what it should do. From imagination to interaction, the story of ChatGPT is the story of human ambition. It began with Turing's question, "Can machines think?" And now, machines don't just think. They communicate, create, and connect. ChatGPT isn't just a product of algorithms and code. It's the culmination of decades of discovery, thousands of researchers, and one universal human dream: to make machines understand us. From the first lines of code in dusty labs to billions of people chatting across the world, ChatGPT represents a turning point in history. The moment when humanity taught language to its machines. And the story? It's still being written.